Hello, fellow watchers and enjoyers. It is I, Piggy, joined by Ash, and we're here to bring you yet another edition of the Watching Walford podcast. It's episode 126. Today's episode is going to cover the biggest storylines and takeaways from week 22 of 2025. All the episodes from the 26th of the 5th all the way to the 29th of the 5th. Now, I should clarify, this is a big week because this is the last week, to our knowledge, I think it's confirmed, that Chris Clenshaw is the executive producer of. So with this, he wants to go out with a, can I say the word bang? I assume so. And he just...
Sure, you can say the word bang in the first minute.
I don't know, YouTube's very picky. And he wants to go out with a bang, basically. So we only have really one topic. So if you don't know, this is the introduction. So this is where you all get your seats and you sit down and stuff. And then we have the new Mitchell's Extravaganza week, and the awards, and then the after show. So yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything before we start?
No, yeah, I mean, it's the one thing I'll briefly mention is obviously on Thursday there was my top 5 biggest failures of the Chris Clenshaw era. I think it turned out quite well. I was quite proud of how it pieced it together. It knocked me for 6. I was like, that, you know, I put all of my energy into that video, and then I've been recovering ever since. It's like, all right, I peaked there. I peaked in that one video. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Who knows if there'll be a positive one coming out or not? Maybe if we feel the wave of energy, but probably not.
And to blame for this, it's my fault because I said I was going to the positives, and then I just went, I can't do it. I can't think of anything positive. That's my brain. It's fried. Just let go on.
You did. We did collect a list.
We did collect a list.
There
Yeah,
were like 8 possible topics, but yeah, Piggy decided. Just like, oh, you doing the video? Yeah, I'm doing it.
my favorite thing is when Ash streamed Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. I went, Piggy, you gonna do the video? And I went, I'm gonna wait till Thursday when the actual schedule's finished up, and then Thursday came, which is today when we're recording this. And Ash went, you gonna do the video, Piggy? And I said I was. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Well, it's just the fucking thing where it's like, are you gonna do the video? I'll wait till all the episodes finish. That'll be fine. And then I think even in that stream, just like, you either fucking do it or don't fucking do it. For fuck's sake, stop wasting your time, please. Stop wasting everybody's time.
And I didn't do it.
Either get that fixed or don't.
Yeah. Didn't do it in the end.
And he didn't do it. So maybe I'll do one if it catches me. But I've been a bit lazy and I've been a bit tired, so probably not. I mean, we could probably talk about it, but also he did the catch-22 where it's like, oh yeah, I'll do it if we do it in like a podcast format and you're with me, and it's like you're just gonna rabbit my points that I'm gonna lead with. Yeah, I'll just do it if you're there. No, it's obviously Piggy remembering every video that we've ever done where it's like, all right, Ash, what you got? All right, here's a dossier of everything that I've got on this topic. Even if it's a minute one, I'll give you 10 minutes and you just go, yeah, sounds good. I agree with all of that.
Yep.
So he's trying to piggyback off me.
Hence the name Piggy.
All your everything. You're like, I want to be the positives guy. I want to be the positive one. If you're doing the negatives, I'm doing the positive. I got to prove that there are the good things. That's what I want to be. That's who I'm gonna be. I'm gonna do all this stuff. It's gonna be great, and doesn't. But I'm still working on that scripted video, so we all have our bugbears. We all have the things that we delay and don't do.
Yep. But don't worry, that scripted video will be out at Christmas. Don't you worry.
But in my defense, I've spent more hours on that video than I'd like to admit. So, like, some would say editing a very long-winded scripted thing's quite difficult. But it's going well so far. A part of me is genuinely considering putting out in 2 parts, but it feels a bit dumb. Do I actually just put it out in 2 bits? Because I could get like part 1 done relatively soon, But getting the second part's ball ache. But it's also a video about 6, and it feels a bit stupid to only have 3 per video.
Time to
But if people want the content,
up the ante and make a top 10 list. Put out the first 5 and then
you're editing that.
Nope. I just put the idea out there.
I made the bold thing. It's just like, yeah, sound. You can do it. I'm not editing it. You're like, yeah, be fine. I'll do it. It's fine. Didn't edit it. You did record it. You did record 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then your microphone broke.
Yeah, it did. I guess without further ado, I guess we spent 6 minutes, and people are only here for the EastEnders. They don't really care about us, let's be honest. So let's just start. So where do we start? Well, it's simple. Throughout the week, or at the start of the week, we see that Zach is just eyeing up Barney. Eyeing him up in a sense, he's just like, do I talk to him?
He's like a lion.
See,
yeah.
See, I don't really know how to word these things, considering, that he's a child and he's an adult, but he's eyeing him up in a sense where he's like, he is my son. I do want to talk to him, but bloody got to catch a train on a bank holiday Monday. You know what I mean? And Harry,
well, it's just that kind of impossible standard where it's like, this really big bit of information and you want to spill it all really quickly, but also if you do, that everything's gonna hit the fan. So like, do you just out it and just get it over with, or do you just kind of let it sit and pick your time? And most people will just choose the first one.
Yeah. But I will preference that I don't think either of us are on the side of Zach because of just how it goes about. Well, I'm definitely not.
You can understand the idea, right? Because Zach has had a pretty cursed time with kids, right? I'm pretty sure he was in and out foster homes throughout most of his life. Obviously having Gavin Sullivan as a dad, I'm pretty sure he wasn't there for him either. But even in the minor things that you would see, it's not great, is it? But then when they adopt, I think it was Ashton with him and Whitney as they were adopting, and they had a nice little time with Ashton, but unfortunately, obviously, it's the care system, it's the fostering system. That Ashton was moved on to a different place, so then, boom, immediately taken away from him in a sense. And then you had baby Peach, who died, and he didn't get to spend time with his daughter. Then you have Whitney being pregnant again. But this time you have Brittany, which, the Reddit are just seething. Just get out the spit sock Reddit. Ruins Zach and Whitney. Fucking cow. 13-year-old kid, by the way. Never seen so much vitriol for a kid that much since Joffrey in Game of Thrones.
For me, it's since Daniel in Life is Strange 2. That little runt of a child. Bloody hate him.
And with Brittany, where once again Zach wanted to be a parent, but he didn't want to be a parent to Brittany because I don't know, fuck Brittany apparently. I don't know, he just didn't like the kid. I'll be honest. Whitney didn't she didn't really consult him for it. She just kind of decided, this is my kid now. She is my kid. And then you had baby Dolly. Finally, in the end, Zach and Whitney, they had a baby, and it went well, and finally together as a family in the end. And he sleeps with Lauren. So Whitney and Dolly and Brittany now move away. Now they're in Inverness, up in Scotland. So ultimately, all that really long tangent just to say, Zach has a history of basically being able to be a parent taken away from him.
Yeah.
And especially with all the loss as well, especially with the loss of Martin, I'm sure it hasn't necessarily helped. The weird bit about this for me, though, is how sudden this one felt. obviously he learned that Barney was his, and then you just sat on it for like a month, and then this last week cropped up, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna take him away. I'm gonna take him away. Obviously, it's because of the Shireen news, which makes sense. But like, he really did. He sat on it for a while, thinking that his family were at risk. But then the second years that Shireen was killed, he's like, oh, I'm gonna take him away, which is really weird because it's not like Zach even tried to build up this kind of friendship with Barney beforehand either. Like, he has now went, he's my son. Let's hang about with him a little bit. And now he is suddenly like, I'm going to take him away from his family, the only family he's ever known. I'm going to take him away. It's a very interesting theory, to say the least. But who really knows what was going through his head? And this is why, for me, and obviously now we can pretty much, I'll briefly touch on this, but I made two very big, bold theories about who was going to die, and neither of them died. So egg on my face. But the way that Zach was acting at the start of the week and in the middle and even at the end, it's like, it really feels like he's brown bread. It really feels like he's dead. But, time will tell.
Time will tell indeed. Look, a thing going on. He kind of just he just talks to Harry, like, how are you, Harry? And Harry's like, grand. And then Harry's like, oh, you're studying on a bank holiday, Monday, Barney. Ugh. And he's like, no, I'm reading a book about gangsters and stuff. And then they go and meet Kojo, and Kojo's like, fairies aren't real. And then Harry's like, yeah, fairies aren't real, Barney. Yeah, take that. And I'm like, I just love this. Can they adopt Kojo, please? Can they make Kojo the third son? I know
he's got a family.
I know he's got a family. Who cares about that family? Put him in the new Mitchells. Like, imagine Kojo just like putting up a race car for old Barney. Just putting it together. I know Barney's 16 and not 12, but still. And throughout the episodes, Zach talks to Ravi and he's like, Ravi, can I get her alone? And Ravi's like, why? And he's like, see, there's this hypothetical situation that I might have a kid on the square that is totally not mine, but hypothetically might be mine, and hypothetically I might take him away from his family, hypothetically. Now, I'm not saying who this kid is, but hypothetically, it's a kid from the square, and he rhymes with Harney. Don't know who this guy is, but hopefully you know. And then he's like, yeah, I wouldn't mess with Nicola. She told me to move her body, and he's like, I'm just going to take him away, yeah. And then he leaves, and Ravi's like, you shouldn't really do that. You shouldn't mess with Nicola. And he's like, yep, just going to take him away. Let's fucking
We do
go.
need to sound the alarm bells, though. This was probably the first recorded time in history where Ravi and Zach actually have a conversation without screaming at each other. Because I don't know, they just have this very fractious relationship where whenever either of them's like in trouble, they just start screaming at each other. So yeah, well, fuck you, Ravi. Yeah, fuck you, Zach. I've got problems going on. It's like, do you want to talk about them? No, I don't, but I will now because you asked. Thanks for asking. But for the first time ever, that's a joke. For the first time ever, they actually went, yeah, no, look, I'll support you, I'll make a few calls. If you need the cash, I can get it for you. And yeah, it's about time they actually had a proper nice, it's just, I don't know, they talk about their friendship like it's a really good thing, but in the show, it's just really toxic. So it was about time to see Zach and Ravi actually be friends properly. And especially because, I mean, in a sense, you had Zach and Ravi's friendship, which obviously juxtaposed Martin and Zach's relationship, where Martin and Zach they were basically brothers in a sense, right? They were really close. They were just best mates, and they would do anything for each other. And then you had Ravi, who was always kind of the more fractious one, where he's his boss, but he's also his mate. And he's also a dealer. But he's not your dealer, he's your mate. And yeah, it just, now finally we're seeing it actually flourish because bloody hell, Martin's not here, is he? Wow, I don't miss him. But yeah, finally they're actually friends, and he sets his sights on Harry, doesn't he? Sets his sight on Harry because he realizes if I get in the way, if I use the fact that Harry is off his nut with problems, maybe he will tell Barney, and then we can whisk him away.
Before that though, he does talk to Linda, and he's like, "Yo, Linda," and Linda's like, "Yo, I guess." I don't know how you street scallions say these things. And he's like, "Yeah, I might have a kid. Hypothetically, I might have a kid. I might. Don't
Also,
really know."
Zach needs to shut the fuck up. The amount of people he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got a kid, that it's not mine, but don't tell anyone, you know. The family is trouble, but don't tell anyone. I've got a kid. I have a child with Nicola Mitchell. He's called Barney Mitchell. He's new to the area." It's like, mate, buddy, calm down. Stop telling everyone. But it's also the kind of thing where Linda is just like therapy corner. Linda is just everybody's mate right now because they do a really good job of making people both. They're really good at making Linda both unlikable and really likable. Because unsurprisingly, in the last 2 weeks, she's suddenly started to interact with Zach and Lauren, and suddenly she's been really nice, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, Linda's my favorite character now," because people have the attention span of a goldfish.
And people will blame TikTok for this. And Linda doesn't really understand, but she's like, "All right, yeah, I guess you have a child with Harney. I had no idea who this Harney is, but fair enough." And Zach's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna follow the police on her." And Ravi's like, "Yeah, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't do that." And he's like, "Too late, guys. I've called the police." And it's like, "You did the right thing." And I'm like, "He did not do the right thing." Like,
No.
because that basically that would be like me stealing a cookie from the cookie jar and then immediately just like calling my father out, getting him arrested. It's like, "Yeah, but now he knows I stole the cookie. What's he gonna do now? Like, what's he gonna do?" And Nicola goes down to the police station, and it's like, "Yeah, someone filed a report." Which Zach did file a report. He talked to Linda, then filed the report, and then just surprisingly walked in on scene when Nicola was getting arrested. So he files a report, and he's like, "Yeah, I've heard from someone. I can't give out my source that Nicola Mitchell did kill Shireen Mitchell." And she's like,
I think she'd do like Bashir or something.
I just gonna call her Shireen. She did kill Shireen, and she told me she pushed her and her head hit the rock, and she watched her bleed out. And then they basically arrest Nicola, and Nicola's like, "I'm an open book, baby. No, I hide no secrets, baby. Let's go."
I do like Nicola's defense, which I half think she genuinely believes. They just have a problem with strong women, which is like, ha ha, there we go. Let's go. We love strong women. He loves strong women. Not Nicola is a bit of a cow, but honestly, I don't know how she does it, but it's really impressive. It's really impressive.
And
but yeah, she gets out and doesn't. She manages to survive.
yeah, and my favorite bit is, so Harry sees his mum get arrested, possibly over the Shireen news, and then Zach's like, "Hey, Harry, how's it going, mate? I'm your mate, aren't I? Yeah, just to let you know your brother. Yeah, well, he's technically your half brother. He's not really your brother. You see, I shagged your ma 16 years ago, so can you help me get rid of your half brother with me so he can come with me, who he barely knows? He just knows me for about 2 weeks. Yeah, that'd be great, thanks." And Harry's like, "Whatever, man." And that's basically what happens, and then like, am I missing anything that happens next, or does we just go to the house scene at the night?
It's just Harry kind of leads Zach astray. And the weird bit about this is Zach is really trusting of Harry, the person whose family he's trying to blow up. Hey, your family are full of nutters, aren't they? Your family are fucked in the head. They're absolutely delusional. You're all criminals. Fuck your family. And obviously Harry's like, yeah, Hate the family. Because obviously he is still upset with them for killing Shireen, so. But he plays into it, and then it just progresses.
Yeah, we go to the house later on, and the only way I can describe this, and I'll only pop Ash. It's like there's a famous wrestler who told the story where he walked in, like he was called into office to talk with the booker, and obviously the booker is sitting there butt naked, just with a pair of cowboy boots. That's basically what Harry does in this next scene. Not naked, of course, but that's what he does. He's just standing there, and he's like, I've heard from an anonymous source that you slept with a man 16 years ago, and now you have Harry. Or Barney, sorry, not me. Barney. And she's like, that's a bunch of flies. And Harry's like, no, it's not. I got it from Sack, who you slept with.
It's a very cool scene because Nicola and Teddy get back from the police station. Teddy's like, can you start telling the truth, please? Please, for fuck's sake. Tell me the truth. And then I'm pretty sure Harry is, like I said, he sat there clearly, like, he's not wired, but he's like, you know, he can't hide it. So he's just like, well, the truth. And then obviously it explains that he's not your kid. He's not your kid, he's Zach's. And then Teddy has a little, like, fucking... Nicola's she's trying to figure out what lie to tell next. I'm pretty sure Barney's here at some point as well.
No, I don't think he appears really because he's with Avani.
Oh, yeah.
Because earlier on, Avani, like, is, just to briefly mention it, basically, Avani's, I kind of call it a sex tape. I don't know the legal words for this.
I mean, is a tape of them having sex?
Okay, fair enough. Just
it got shared around. It got shared around.
Yeah, it got shared around to everyone. All I can think of is that BBC ad. I think it was BBC where the guy sends a willy pic, and then everyone just goes, "I seen your willy." Breaking news! Everyone has seen his willy. It's all I can think of.
Never seen it.
I'll send it to you. It's just a kid where it's like, it just sends messages. It's an ad, and it's just like, "I've seen your willy." And they basically do that with Annie, but they're like, "You're a slapper, you're a slag, you're a slut," and they're like, "Okay, wow, okay, wow, that's uncalled for." What are we going to say?
It's a really strange duality with teenagers because teenagers are fucking brutal. Like teenagers, they are self-aware enough to kind of know if shit's awry, but they're not self-aware enough to realize that if you are just a prick, you are, like, it does matter. Like if you're a prick, you know, you will be remembered for being a prick. So it's like a weird double standard where, and just societally, like as well, where if you're a guy and you've not, if you're not like had sex, well, you pussy, fuck you, loser. But if you're a girl who's had sex, it's suddenly a big fucking problem. And it's like, it's, you know, in form of equivalent exchange, they both done the same thing. But for some reason, the woman or the girl is now paraded around as a fucking promiscuous person. But it's like, you know, there's two people involved. Why is there the fucking double standard? But society doesn't have a problem with women. No way, they do not. Especially not teenage girls as well, who get fucking ridiculous scrutiny for just liking things. We just, what, you like the things that are being sold to you? You like that? Oh, fucking stupid idiots. It's like, come on. Good Christ. Fucking sort it out. Sort it out, for fuck's sake.
I know it's...
And it's just a ridiculous double standard, is my point.
I know it's more an American thing, but the one thing I never understood was beauty pageants. I just never understood that. That really doesn't make sense to me.
That was horrendous.
Yeah, I'm like, who? I know the obvious answer is who gets off to it. It's obviously, I can't say the word, PDF, EDP files. But like, why would you watch that? Why would you put your kid through that? That's just traumatizing. Like, what? what goes through the mind? Like, who sat down, right? Let's just say Fox. Who sat down with the executive producer of Fox and went, I've got the next big Malcolm in the Middle prepared for you, lad. You're going to be shocked. This is going to succeed X-Men. Don't you worry. Beauty pageants. And it's like, we're going to film them. Don't worry. We're going to put them on the channel. Don't worry. It's going to be normal. And then also like Dance Moms UK, Dance Moms USA. Like, why would you watch these shows? They're basically I don't want to say torturing the kid. They're basically tormenting the kid. Like, fuck off. These things don't.
Yeah, like you are just putting some. Well, you're taking something like innocent and naive, and you're putting it through a fairly like calculated and kind of cold like thing. So it's like, oh yeah. Oh, why am I doing this, mummy? Oh, just because you look good. Like, they clearly don't understand what's going on.
No.
Like, but yeah, it's a weird thing. But yeah, it's just, and then in the end, this is more so along the lines of they're still developing this Avani and Barney friendship to relationship where they are genuinely, not like Joel, which was surface level, and Joel was wanting to get his leg over, and Avani wanted to feel wanted. This is building something more sincere, something a bit deeper, something where they both actually share some of their problems and what's going on and kind of like why they're struggling. Avani's, and this kind of peaks up where Avani is struggling dramatically because, like, you're getting all this hate for no reason. Like, Joel did the same thing, but he's not getting all this abuse. Like, it's a stupid double standard. But then we get Nicola, who tries to go and find Barney. And once again, they're doing a really good job of making the Mitchells more nuanced. Because in the same way where Harry earlier, when Harry gets the bad news and sees his mum being arrested, he kind of starts to panic and freak out. But whilst Gina and Kojo are still in the car lot, he just kind of goes, guys, please, I want to be by myself. Just, give me some time. I need to have some alone time. And then he like freaks out and he waits for them to leave, showing that he's not just an animal. He's not just a dick. He's pretty like considerate even when he's struggling. And then you have Nicola, who goes to Avani and along the lines of her strong woman approach, essentially says, "Fuck them." What, they're mocking you? None of their fucking business. The guy does it. It's the same thing. None of their fucking business. Like, basically wear the insults as a badge. Like, they've clearly got nothing better to do, so fuck them. You know what you did. Joel did it as well. Like, who cares? Just... And it genuinely does kind of perk Ivani up as she's like, yeah, you know what? Like, this is fine. Like, I can get through this. And once again, they show that despite Nicola being a pretty calculating, cold, and conniving, like, woman who will lie to get anything, she still is fundamentally, she's a mum, she's a parent, and she wants to help, like, anybody who, like, she helps Ivani kind of get through this moment of strife. And then with Teddy as well, like, they do a good job of not just making them one-dimensional Grey Atkins, so.
Yeah.
So, always a plus in my books.
Yeah, and yeah, I did turn on my light. You can see I no longer look like I'm in a cave. And yes, you can see my sweaty forehead. Anyways, continuing on. So yeah, we see, like, yeah, obviously Teddy comes in. It's like, yo, like, Barney, yeah. And Ivani's like, want to come back to my place? And Barney's like, no, please, no.
Not really.
That's you in any scenario. If a woman or a man asks you to sleep with them, you want to come back to my place? Nah, not really.
I'm alright.
Can I play Char instead with you? That seems more.
It has to be some. There has to be the right circumstances. The right time of day, the right moon in the sky, like all the bunch of weird criteria. But no, yeah, and obviously Ivani kind of freaks out, like, oh, you're just like Joel. Why the fuck? Why like this? And they panic and they kind of Avani leaves, and I think at this point, like Ravi sees this, and then Ravi starts to talk to Barney, like, "Hey, I am sorry for tangling you over a bridge. It was a bit mental, wasn't it? Yeah." And then just says, "Look, Avani just needs to cool off, but go and see her later. Is a chocolate bar that's her favorite, and just generally, it'll be fine." It's just basically Ravi just sensing him out because he realizes that Barney is actually a good kid, especially in comparison to Joel.
Also, I love when you said they have to meet a criteria, because now you've got the image in my head where it's like, I just want you, babe, there's just this one thing. I speed run this game because I'm starting on. Would you mind dressing up as Marge Simpson, please, or Homer? That's the one criteria you have to meet, love. And I'm like, that's all that my brain went to when you said that. And I'm sorry.
I don't know why your entire image of me just revolves around me playing a cult classic children's video game.
It's not like a speedrunner for 6 years, and that's my first introduction to you. Would you prefer to dress?
I do other things.
Would you prefer them to dress as Pikachu?
Am I right?
Okay. How about Sonichu? No. Okay. You think I'm gone? As I was saying, yeah. So like, Fanny and Barney kind of just do their own thing then, and then Barney goes back talks to Fanny, and they just talk, and he leaves or she leaves. But anyways, back to the Mitchells. Yeah. Harry's like, yeah, you slept with your personal trainer 16 years. No. Nicholas like, I slept with a personal trainer 16 years ago. It was a fling. And then Teddy's like, you're lying. And she's like, I'm not Ted. And then Harry's just like, tell him the truth. She's like, I am telling you the truth. And he's like, no, you're not.
Like that fucking David Beckham clip where the Victoria's like, we grew up very, very middle class. And then David's like, tell the truth. Tell the truth. What car did your dad drive you in on? Well, he drove me in a Rolls Royce. That's not middle class. That's not middle class. But yeah. I somehow distracted myself from what the fucking point was. Oh yeah, just tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Yeah, I just think whenever I think of football kids, I think of that one of the videos is of a referee where they zoom the camera in on his face and he's after insulting some player and he goes, "Now that video better not go any fucking way now. I tell you what." It's just like after you've never seen that video. And continuing on, it's just.
I think it was just like a guy like refereeing a football game, where it's like, oh, whoa, why'd you give him a yellow card? And the guy is like a big American, just like, he said I had a small dong. Yeah. But, yeah, this whole break. So this opens up the truth. Barney's back home at this point, I believe, and as all the fallout is fucking kicking off.
Yeah, because all they're playing is Fallout Shelter or Fallout 3. Continuing on. So she does sit down with Teddy and she's like, okay, yeah, he was my personal trainer. You weren't loving me as much, Teddy, 16 years ago. So, yeah, I just kind of slept with him, I guess. I don't know. And then Teddy's like, just tell me the truth, please. And she's like, yeah, I did sleep with him. Yeah, I did. And yeah, you're not the father of Barney. And he went, oh shit. And then Harry's just, my favourite bit, and they don't even show it, but I wish they did. My favourite bit is Harry goes, hey Zach, come here, got some news. And Zach's just like,
I've definitely told him the truth.
My favourite bit is he just walks in on it. There was a video you mentioned before that you've seen online about like catfishing with a bear. Is it a bear? Or a rabbit?
It was a bunny called Mr. Flopsy.
That's all it reminded me of.
I think it was a BBC bite-sized. Once again, I keep saying this in case anybody actually remembers this. It was a BBC bite-sized thing about like internet safety, and it was a bunny called Mr. Flopsy who was getting like it was basically about catfishing, but catfishing wasn't really invented yet. Let's be honest, the term wasn't invented yet. So it proceeded to be like, hello, Mr. Flopsy, I'm Miss Flopsy. let's meet and we will have lots of carrots. And obviously he catfishes him and he meets up with a bloody big stinking crocodile.
And Mr. Flopsy was never
He
seen
could
again.
be called Miss Flopsy, but
Who knows? Could have had an animal change, So just to put it out there. So yeah, he calls Sack and he's like, "Yeah, Sack, got some good news for you, mate. Don't you worry, come here." Then Sack's in the pub with Ravi, Linda, and Vicky, and he's just like, "Yeah, I gotta go now. See ya." And I'm like, "Bring back up, you prick! Bring back up! Don't go into the line." I know he's putting too much
walking into the lion's den,
like
with a big load of fresh meat. This is fine. I will say one thing I do like is obviously because Sharon's fucked off. Because I don't know. Look, she always gets a mandated break, from the anniversary to she gets 2 months off in the middle of the year. That's basically how it always works for Sharon. So she fucked off. So now, just like how Vicky is surrogate Michelle, she is the Michelle insert. She's now also the Sharon insert as well. So she now has to act like her and Zach actually have this proper built up relationship, which they don't have, but she still manages to pull it off because she is just good. She is just good, isn't she?
Yeah. And then Shaq just comes over to Harry, and then Harry, from what we're alluded to, whacks him over the head, and then rings Teddy, and it's like, it's sorted. And then Nigel also wants to go to the films. There's a little interaction earlier on Monday where he's upset that Phil didn't bake him a cake and it's his birthday. And obviously Honey the bitch makes it all about Billy. Well, Billy didn't get a cake. Well, yeah, does one have dementia? Yes. Does Billy have dementia? No. Fuck off. He's a Spurs fan.
It's also Phil paid for the wedding. Phil paid for the wedding, and Phil's card paid for Billy and Honey to be financially stable. But fuck Phil, he didn't give Billy a card. He didn't make Billy a cake. Fuck you. It's all right.
I guess
obviously it's on brand because Honey notoriously hates Phil because he is a dick to Billy. But fuck's sake.
But surely she would understand the circumstances that one has dementia and he doesn't have long memories left. So you gotta make the most of it. Let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. Just you with dementia and Phil Mitchell is your carer, not Steve McFadden. Just Phil Mitchell himself is your carer, and he's like, "We're gonna bake a cake." You can't tell me that would not be funny. Just him seriously whisking whisking a cake, together the mix.
Flour on his face.
Yeah, just imagining the big cook, little cook clip where he flicks the fucking cream onto little cook. Yeah. So you can't tell me that would be a fun memory of just, oh yeah, go on Phil, what are you making? Rocky Road? I'll batter the Rocky Road. Don't you worry. Got sick of Rocky Road cake, honestly, growing up. But yeah, continuing on. So yeah, she's just yeah, and then obviously Phil and Nigel are like, "Oh, you going to see a movie?" Because they buy popcorn in the Minute Mart, and it's like Rocky at the Minute Martin, I should say. And it's like, "You're going to see Rocky?" And then they're on with a Russian guy and just Rocky 4, Rocky 3. No, it's Rocky 3.
Honestly,
Rocky
they're
1.
they're like hyenas. Oh yeah, fucking Rocky, yeah, Rocky, yeah, fucking Rocky, yeah. Remember fucking Ivan Drago, yeah, fucking Rocky, yeah. And then Nigel's just basically like, fuck off. Fuck off. Because he doesn't really, I don't know, it looks like he just kind of, he got a bit lost in the sauce. You're just kind of like, what the fuck's going on? Why are you guys so excited? I just want to watch Rocky, for fuck's sake.
And I'd assume, in context, they're going to the Prince Charles cinema. Because that seems like the only cinema that would have Rocky on at this time of night. On a bank holiday Monday. But continuing, especially in London. But continuing on. So, Billy and Honey go up to him. And I don't want to be mean to him, because I know he has dementia in this show. But they go up to him like a little child. He's like, "Do you want to go see Rocky?" "Yeah. Come on."
I mean,
go see
is
Rocky.
that not really how a lot of people talk to people with dementia?
Well, yeah, no, it is.
When
Trust me, it is.
when they're not lucid.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just the way they frame it, where he just walks up and goes, "Want to see Rocky? Yeah, okay, let's go see Rocky."
And yeah, so Honey and Billy take over and go, look, Phil, you need a day out. Like, we'll take him to the cinema, be fine. And this, as Teddy gets the message from Harry, like, it's sorted. And Teddy's like, what the fuck? Sprints to the arches, realizes that Harry's gone, and then goes, shit. And so Harry has taken Zach, bundled up in the boot, after being smacked over the head with a wrench. Teddy goes, look, Bill, I need your car, brother to brother. You'll do this for me. You drive. I've got a tracker on my phone for him. Which I don't know. I guess it's a kind of fun thing, but it also sounds a bit. I don't want people knowing where I am at all times. Fuck that.
Simple. You're obviously in your house.
Mate, I'm in like a month. I will have left the house every day for a year.
Fair enough.
I've been at a walk every day for nearly a year. Fucking. How about that?
Yeah, I didn't understand.
Little bitch. You want to fucking go? No, yeah. Yeah, little milestone. And June 19th. Especially considering I used to go out the house, without, not, working. I went out of the house, 5-6 times a year, by choice, so pretty big. Anyways. But yeah, so Teddy, Billy, Honey, and Nigel follow Harry and Zach in a car, and we get to this cool set piece, which was what was teased in the trailer, where they both get out, they find him at this bridge, where they pop out. Harry opens up the trunk, and we see that Zach's beaten up to a pulp. And it's the first fake out, right? Where it's like, oh shit, Zach's dead. That's, because if that did happen, everybody would have been like, what the fuck? You killed him in such an inhumane way. You're ruining Zach's character. But fuck Brittany. One day that bit will not be funny, but it will always be funny to me. And so Billy checks his pulse, and Teddy quickly realizes, shit, I've got to handle this. Don't call the police. Don't call an ambulance. I'll sort this. It's fine. And so they realize he's alive. Billy, they all decide collectively. Billy and Honey kind of decide, look, fine. Teddy says, look, I'll get in the car with him. I'll get him in the front seat. We'll talk it out. And so this happens. Billy, Honey, Nigel, they all get back in the car. And they go, all right, sound. But Zach wakes up in the passenger seat, freaks the fuck out because, it's a dumb little trope that I'm taking the piss out of under Chris Crenshaw, where people do yank the fucking wheel out of a car. But he has also been kidnapped, and he's woken up in the front seat of a car with a family you think are criminals. So he does yank the fucking wheel, and the car goes off the side. One thing I was surprised about this is they obviously show the car going in, but they did not they did not get the approval for the fucking they did not get approval to do any stunts, because you see the car go in and then you see them reappear. Yeah, you see Teddy crawl out of the water. But it was a cool car stunt. I felt a bit unnecessary, really. You didn't really need a big you didn't really use the water aspect of the stunt. You just kind of made them look dirty. Typically, when you do a big car stunt, I don't know, they just didn't really... It was a cool set piece, I guess, but it felt a bit unnecessary to me.
Yeah. So they crashed the car into the river on a summer's day when you were born. And so, that's a song reference. I forgot the name of the song. I don't care. So they crashed the car into the river, and they get, Harry goes, Dad, no! Well, he runs down, in the behind the scenes footage, which I just find funny because he's in massive overalls. I don't know how you describe his knees, but they're like, we had to put knee pads on all of them.
Overalls aren't tight.
No, I'm just laughing at the fact they're like, we have to put knee pads on them. And I'm like, yeah, so why do you put knee pads on them?
The one thing I will say that was funny is they released the wrong fucking video. On Wednesday night, they went, here's all the BTS about this big stunt. And then what it turns out it was inside was fucking Thursday's scenes. So, Wednesday night, I'm like, oh shit. So I then suddenly got spoiled that, Zach is not dead. And Teddy is not dead. And Nigel's not dead. So nobody's dead. This is fine.
Yeah. And then
it was a bit anticlimactic in a sense, but
well, obviously
just like me explaining this now, but still funny. Like I've released the wrong video before. It does happen, but it is funny because we're a channel that has like 1.2k subs, and EastEnders is watched by millions. So get fucked.
I will add on to this. So I'll get to the spoilers in a bit when I get to Thursday's episode. So Nigel runs into the woods. I'll get back to Harry and Teddy in a minute. So Nigel runs into the woods. He's obviously spooked out. And Harry obviously goes, "Are you alright, Dad?" And yeah, I'm fine. I think Zach's dead though. And then they go look for Nigel because Nigel escaped into the woods. Now all I can assume in Nigel's mind is obviously Teddy's more of a new guy from him. He's never really interacted with Teddy. He's probably like bought him a pint in the pub, and that's probably it.
All he said to Teddy was, "You look like Mini Grant," which my brother saw that and he went, "Does Nigel try to save Teddy if he goes in the drink? Is that how Nigel goes?" Basically, because he has to listen to all my crackpot theories before I voice them on video. So, like how I made him really excited at the idea of the Brannins running the Vic. So, look, somebody's got to be the sounding board.
Yeah. And they look for Nigel, and Nigel basically thinks someone is out to get him, and he phones Phil, and he's like, "Phil, help me." But obviously Phil's asleep on the sofa, he's after eating and watching something, and he's asleep.
He probably watched Rocky himself.
No, we found out he's a big Fast and Furious guy. He's probably watching Fast and Furious. Because that's what he said to George last year. Like, I want to watch Fast and Furious. So I just want to assume that he was watching one of the Fast
You can watch other movies.
Yeah, but in my mind, he only watches Fast and Furious. In my mind. That's it. He doesn't like any other franchise. Although Phil's like movie watch to me, I feel like he'd be a big horror guy as well. I think he'd like a bit of horror. What do you think?
Then I'm just looking at my neck. I look like a fucking giraffe. Who knew I got a long neck?
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough. No comment. But yeah, as I was saying, so he's asleep watching a film, and they come find Nigel. Now I think Nigel thinks that Honey is his mother, so he goes up and he hugs Honey. He's like, "Oh, I've missed you so much. Welcome back." And obviously Honey's like, "Oh, he remembers me," and it's, I don't say it's a catch-22, but it is wholesome in a way. It's even though he doesn't know who Honey is, he's excited to see them, and it's just nice.
Yeah,
it's just nice, and he kind of ignores Teddy, which I like, because I don't know who you are, and then they walk him back to the car. See, all I can think of is how I would treat my president at the current time of the landscape of 2025, Michael D. Higgins. I look at Nigel and I'm like, he's just a big child, isn't he? He just wants to be hugged, taken care of. You buy him ice cream and he's happy. That's all I can think of. It's like how I would treat my president. It's just like that with Nigel. So they're walking back to the car. It's like, sit in the car, you'll be alright, sunshine. It's like, are we going to see the movies? Sadly not, Nigel. Sorry about that. And then the Mitchells are like,
that's a mad projecting. That's just what you want. That's just what you want.
What?
You want some ice cream? Want to be held?
Want to be cuddled?
Be told it's all right? Want to go to the movies? Just you?
Fair enough. And my favourite bit is Honey going, "Wait, the car was stolen, wasn't it, guys?"
Yeah, Honey finally goes on to the old Mitchell way. The car got stolen. That's fine. Let's leave. Let's leave.
And
Zach's fate is unknown. We don't know. We don't know if Zach's alive. Forget the fact that I said that Zach is alive about 5 minutes ago. But they faked us out again. And at that point, you go, all right, there's no way he's dead.
And then basically, I love this scene so much. So they go back, and obviously they tell Phil, and Phil's like, all right. And he goes to tell Vicky, but my favourite bit is he cuts to Honey and Billy sitting on the couch. They're snuggled up, and Nigel is just munching on popcorn, and he looks so happy. He just looks so happy, and I'm like, I can't hate Nigel. He looks so wholesome. But yeah, Phil goes over, tells Linda and Vicky, who is drinking in front of Linda, might I add, and basically goes, Zach's dead. And then they go, it's so funny. Go to the Mitchell house. I thought my PC crashed. They go to the Mitchell house, and it's like, yeah, you're right, Dad. You're back now, Dad. Yeah, I am. And then Vicky's just banging on. They're like, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Let me fucking in, you fucking.
Yeah, Vicky ascended, and like, Phil didn't boot that door in. Vicky booted that fucking door in as they burst in. And this is what she was brought back for. Because she's screaming, just like, you know what? Zach's dead. And you know what? He's not even your... Barney isn't even your son. He's Zach's. And then this time Barney's here like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Teddy's alright. He's been through a whole night of it. He's fed up. Nicola's panicking. Gonna lose a job. And it's just bomb. That's what Vicky was brought back for. If this is what she does, I'm all here for it. That was great.
And then obviously this is where we can talk about the leaks. So obviously me and Ash yesterday, at the time of recording yesterday being Wednesday, the 28th of May, obviously we didn't know Zach's outcome. And then obviously about 9:30 at night I got a message from Ash going, yo, look at this big man. I went, sound. And I looked at it, and we just see that Zach he opens the door, as we see. So I'll go through these scenes in a minute. So obviously Vicky then like goes, who are you, love? He's not your kid. He's Zach's. Fuck off, love. Just like any trashy council estate woman is how I describe how she's acting. We've all seen them. And then Nicky's like, what are you talking about, love? What are you talking about? And Vicky's like, you know what I'm talking about. And then Barney's just sat here like sad, like, oh, my life's over. And then he goes to confront
And this, where I'm pretty sure at this point, don't they all just like say that he's dead?
Yeah, they all say he's dead.
Oh yeah. Vicky obviously says Zach's dead. Yeah. So, yeah.
I will say I fell asleep.
So Barney's now been told that he's got a new dad, and his dad's dead.
Yeah, great. Obviously, I fell asleep during Thursday's
Barney,
episode.
I hear you have a father.
Yes, thank you. And your father's dead. Join
the club, Barney.
I'm just imagining you just like with a little VIP with one of those
opening the door for him.
The red velvet things
taking off the red string. Yeah.
Your father's dead. He's dead. Just he's slowly walking.
Everything from this point all just breaks down. I think at this point Barney wants to talk to Teddy like alone now. I think, or does he go to see Ivani? I don't remember.
He goes to see Vicky, and then this is basically.
Oh yeah.
This is where the leaks take place. I don't really know what I'm calling the leaks. It just came out like 6 hours before, then it shut off. And obviously I fell asleep through Thursday's episode. But I will add, I did see like most of the scenes because they were uploaded on YouTube. Oh, excuse me. I had a minion donut. Yeah, he goes in and like he talks to Vicky, and it's like, yeah, I don't really know how to feel, Vicky. And then Zach just opens the door and it's like, Barney, you're here, yeah. And Vicky's like, you're alive.
Thought you were dead.
Yeah.
And it's also like, oh, Zach, how'd you survive? Yeah, I just swam to the other side of the lake, innit? I probably should have seen that. Let's be honest. Probably should have seen that. But sure, fair enough. Zach is alive. Which it is a good thing. I know, like I said before, I was predicting it that he was going to die because it did feel like the writing was on the wall. But also, kind of like how it was the right decision to not kill off Nish in 2023, also the right decision to not kill off Zach because there is a lot more mileage here. Once again, you don't want to kill off more of Sharon's family, and also he's now got a kid on the show. And, honestly, at this point, it seems like they're just going to be throwing kids out the fucking woodwork for Zach, as he is a notorious shagger, so.
Have you ever seen the football clip where the footballer meets his old teacher and he goes, "Wow, I thought you were dead."
Yeah, it's like, is it not like Ian Wright?
I think it's Ian Wright, yeah. I just immediately
Yeah.
imagining Barney, I know Barney.
He sees his old teacher who really helped him kind of get where he wanted to be. And he's just, I thought you were dead. Yeah, it's a good clip.
It's been memed on in football, football memes. It's been memed on entirely, but it's all I can think of is just Barney going, "Wow, I thought you were dead. Someone told me you died." Just, despite only knowing that he's his father 5 minutes ago. So he's like, yeah, all right. And then I think Jack just puts on just a pair of sweatpants and a jacket. And he's like, "Barney, you're coming with me." And Barney's like, "I don't want to go anywhere." And he's like, "Your mother's a murderer. She's a murderer. And your father's a murderer. Your whole family's murderers."
I get that Zach had a pretty traumatic night, but fuck me, he rolls the dice and he critical fails it. Like, he's supposed to roll a 20, he rolls a 1. It's just like, yeah, well, your own family's full of fucking crackheads. Fuck you, shit family, hate your family. We're leaving. Well, I'm taking you away. Fuck you. And Barney's like, "You're not my fucking dad. Fuck off." And he runs away. This while Nicola and Harry have their confrontation where Harry's like, "What else are you lying about, Mum? Tell me what happened to Shireen." And then she starts to lie, and she lies, and she lies. But I think in the end, she actually says, "Oh, you know what? Fine. I just tell the whole truth then. Let's fully just get it all out there." And she explains how she killed her because she knew that Teddy wasn't Barney's dad. And at some point, Harry throws her on the fucking barn, ready to, do something pretty bad with his hands around her neck. But Teddy shows up as like, "I fucking stop that." As they realize, "Oh, I thought Barney was with you. We gotta find Barney." And then Zach follows Barney out the house. The new Mitchells follow Barney, find Barney, and they're in the middle of the streets and they start having a slinging match. It's like, "Your family's full of dickheads," and Teddy's like, "Oh, come on then, you bastard." And then this is also one thing that I love with Nicola. Nicola screams when she's had enough. She just screams like, "Enough! What are you gonna fire in the street? Put your willies away!" Fucking best line of the year. Best line of the year. Put your willies away. Stop fucking posturing, you testosterone-filled fuckers. Shut your mouth. We're here for Barney, and it's what Barney decides that he wants to do now. I suppose we also missed a bit where Teddy and Barney have a conversation, and they kind of go, "Yeah, look, we're not really alike, but that doesn't make me any less of your dad. I may not be, technically, related, biologically related, but I'm still your dad." And it's basically kind of affirming that despite everything, and even with this new bit of information, it doesn't really change things because fundamentally they still have enjoyed the same things. They may be different in some ways, but not all parents are the same. Not all parents are alike. So, and parents and kids. So just a good affirming one. There's also I am glad that, I don't know, because I always thought that someone was going to die. I think all of the options to who would have died would have been pretty sad. That's why I kind of mostly settled for Zach. But I'm so glad that Teddy's sticking around because he's got a surprising amount of potential, and I really want to see him stick around for a long time period because I really think he's got a lot of potential as a character. And just generally this whole stuff as the new Mitchells also just tremendous as well. Really, really strong stuff. This was their breakout. This was Chris Glenshaw kind of hitting at all the allegations that he didn't develop the family. This is their breakthrough. And so then Barney essentially decides, "All right, let's go home." let's go home. Zach's kind of gutted again, like, oh, fuck, well, god damn it. Now I'm once back to square one again, even though he's been, now Barney knows he's his dad, Barney doesn't want anything to do with him. So they all sit back home and Barney says, look, I'm not coming home unless we get things back to where they used to be. I want to be a family again. I want us all together back before, back before Harry, like, had arguments with you. I want us to be a normal family again. And so they all sit down at the table. And then Nicola's like, right, what do you want to do? And then Barney looks around, looks at everyone and says, board games? And everyone just fucking cracks. Everybody's laughing their asses off. It's the fun, like, kids bring everyone joy. Fucking okay, so we just had a really traumatic day where we could have died. Monopoly? Like, board games? Oh, fucking tremendous.
That's fine.
And this, as everyone's kind of happy. Nicola's fake laughing, let's be honest. She's absolutely fake laughing. But she laughs and then she smirks as somehow once again Nicola has blown up the entire family and has gotten away with it again. She's gotten away with it. She's still in the family. She's kind of still with Teddy. Barney and Harry are both, like, relatively happy to be in her presence. Somehow, Nicola has lied her way to still being in the family. It's mental. I don't know how she does it. I don't know how, but it's great.
You know what? I just want to say, if that family starts playing Monopoly, that family's in ruins again. Barney's hanging out.
Harry's fucking ripping the board.
Barney's gonna go back there like Sack. He's gonna be like, Sack, I'm so sorry.
That's my fucking Mayfair.
Yeah. Just like when me playing Monopoly. You gonna give me Patrick? No. Okay. Why am I playing this? So yeah, I'll go first. I found this week to be pretty enjoyable. Put your willies away is up there as my favourite quote of the year, along with like Reece saying that was close and Bianca going, it's only a nunny.
I'm still upset where it was supposed to be, it's only a Fanny Lauren, which would have been 10 times better.
Yeah.
Like, who calls it a nunny?
It's just them being censorships,
Yeah, I know, but like if she did say Fanny, fucking that would be my line of the decade.
Yeah, but yeah, it's up there. But obviously Reece is still number one. Like, that was close, bathtub.
Yeah, true.
It's just the bathtub.
Put your willies away, screaming it through the fucking street. Like, it's gold.
Do you reckon the people in the Queen Fake were like, the fuck's going on out there? The fuck? What are you saying?
Dude, I'd be in the window, just like peering through. Put your willies away. Get the binoculars.
Yeah, just imagining you.
All the microscopes.
Just imagining you, bottle off like Corona in your hand, binocular in the other, pulling the curtains. What? Just like that. It's a funny visual to me. But as I was saying, it was a great week, and I honestly enjoyed it. I'm ashamed they didn't kill off anyone, but I understand it's Chris Clan just last week, and now we're up in the air with Ben Wadey. I really hope Ben Wadey continues to actually develop the Mitchells a bit more and more, and he just doesn't go, well, you're Chris Clenshaw's Coronation. Don't really care for you. I'm going to introduce my own family.
I mean, I still think that Nicola will definitely be a big character in the new era. I 100% agree. Yeah, I think, this week it was a decent one. They did kind of tease that someone was going to die, so it is also a little underwhelming that nobody did. But also, there wasn't really a great choice for this. It would just kind of be more like shock. I went out with a bang. You know what I mean? But all in all, in terms of this period, and maybe there'll be a video at some point. Probably not. But just generally, this 3-year period where it took EastEnders from my third favourite soap to the first, reasserting it as king. He did a really good job of reshaping the show and kind of rebuilding the foundations, changing it from the crime into now more family-centric, and generally beefing up all of the main players on the show with bigger families, more people to react to what they do. And just generally, I think he did a really good job. Still funny that they're like the only top 5 made about this will be a fucking failures one. But it's still a genuine, really good week. A nice way to top it off and a nice way to have a big stunt and have a big spectacle whilst, ending it on a high. And all in all, pretty good. Other than the 40th, 2025 is probably the weakest. I can't lie. It's been good, but we've been in a state of flux where we want to, he wanted to still have it be big, but also you can't really top the 40th or Christmas, so you are just kind of finishing out what you currently have, trying to set up stuff for the future. So yeah, this week was good, and I do think that the new Mitchells have worked. I know people like to act like they're like budget, like fake Mitchells, but genuinely, we started to kind of fully recognize that they are actually nuanced characters and they do actually have interesting motivations. It's not just like, hello, I'm Harry Mitchell. My thing is, I am angry. Like, they've clearly developed these characters and made them like a lot more interesting. So I think that, yeah, it was a good week. All that to say, I enjoyed it.
Okay, and now it's time for the awards. Just give me a second and I'll let you go through it. Hold on. 7, 11. Go through the awards now, Ash, if you don't mind.
We have the underrated award. We have the Who Needs Slapping Down, and we have the Keanu Taylor Award of Excellence. We should have talked about this before, but it feels like we need a new award ahead of the end of Chris Clenshaw. And it's got a simple name. It's just going to be the Clenshaw Award. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to define it as. But I think it's...
We just say our favourite bits of the Clenshaw era. That's mainly it.
Maybe like most promising. Most exciting thing. Like a nice little like long-term, what are you looking forward to?
Is it a one-time award or a weekly award?
No, we're keeping it. We're adding it to the cabinet.
Okay. So go through the Clenshaw award first, because obviously you came up with it.
So yeah, let's angle it as the most like promising like seed planted. The most, because Chris Clenshaw, he was kind of, a lot of his whole shtick was him being like a long-term planning and setting the seeds early on with a heavy dose of foreshadowing. So what like big thing am I looking forward to in this? And I think I'm simply looking forward to seeing how Nicola manages to stay on the show, because she fucks everything up, and she's fucked everything up at least 2 to 3 times now. And somehow she's still got her legs under the table. I don't understand how. How will Nicola continue to blow up the new Mitchell family and fucking destroy everyone in it, but still somehow they're like, love you, Mum? How? How would she keep doing it?
I don't know. The most promising for me, well, I'm looking forward to Ben Whaley's era, is all I can say, really. Not really much. I'm wondering like what he will do. Obviously, we've heard of some rumored returns and some rumored exits. Well, a confirmed exit is mostly confirmed. So like I just can't wait to see like what the future holds for them. I hope for the best. Honestly, I hope like we generally get some good storylines. I mean, we further develop the new Mitchells and the Knights to an extent, while also bringing in a new family, because there's no way he's not going to bring in a new family. Honest,
Every executive producer brings in a new family.
yeah. Before we leave and do the rest of the awards, what in your eyes, what is the worst family to ever be introduced under an executive producer?
I mean, it feels like the easy one is to just say the Ferrarias, or however you say the name, which was the family who was they were pretty much the progenitor of the Six. They were gonna kill their overbearing dad and bury him in a shallow grave in the garden because he was controlling and abusive. But obviously that's the famous like story where the guy who was playing the dad, he had like dodgy I think he had like dodgy papers or whatever, so he was deported on set. Like they collected him and they deported him on the spot. So it's a fucking crazy little. That's probably my first immediate um that's my immediate thing. But there are some lows, but yeah, I don't know. You have to make it a real historical thing to actually kind of drudge through some of the biggest failures of families. But
I'd say that the Taylors were up there, but also just very quickly on the Ferraris.
yeah, but they overachieved because of Keanu and Keegan.
But I will say on the Ferraris, it's just that image of the guy being in full gimmick, where he's in full like EastEnders costume, and then these bobbies show up, police officers obviously show up with like batons and everything. It's like, you feel you've been upsetting the Queen there, love. Get back to your own fucking place. And then there's a plane like landing at Elstree and everything. They just throw him on it, just like just grabbing him. He's like, I've done nothing. He's like, say that to the Queen. Yeah, in my eyes, the police just love the Queen, even though that's not true. Let's be honest. I guess the next award is underrated.
Avani and Barney's little connection. They teased it initially, but now actually seeing it kind of develop is really cool, and I do like it. Like it's very sweet, it's very innocent. It's something more wholesome for Avani after a pretty rough time. And yeah.
Yeah, it's I would agree with that. I will agree with that. Underrated for me has to be. It has to just be the phone call, like when the wolf calls like the three little pigs, like where Shaq's like, "Oh, Harry, you've convinced them, have you?" See you, Ravi. I know, Ravi, you're a bodyguard, but like, don't need you, mate. I can do this by myself, and it just gets absolutely throttled. Like it's an underrated moment for me because it's just so stupid, but it only happens in soaps because no way in real life would you just easily fall for that. Well, I say that someone would fall for that. Me. So continuing on, the Keanu Taylor Award of Excellence.
Most wooden.
The Willies.
Yeah. As they were posturing.
Yeah.
They were posturing with their willies out. Of course.
For me, if Ash goes for the Willie line, I'm going for Ash in the Queen Vic, peeking through the curtains, hearing Nicholas say that, because that's just a funny visual to me. Just imagining Ash on set, just peeping through the window. Like,
yeah.
And then
as always, watching Walford as ever.
You're wearing like a branded Watching Walford hat that he sends around post production. But yeah, and the last award, who needs slapping down?
I don't know. Part of me wants to say Zach. Oh no, fuck it. One comment we got needs slapping down. I'm not going to name the comment, but it's a comment along the lines saying that this group of teenagers are the worst group in ages. I firmly disagree.
Okay.
All of the teenagers have had their big breakthrough storyline within this era, and a lot of them, if you take a lot of these characters as to where they started and where they are now, genuinely a lot of them have actually become genuinely interesting characters. Like Denzel's had his storylines, he had his like steroid storyline. Nugget had all this stuff with Nish and his family being all Messy, Amy with the self-harm and her relationship with Denzel, Lily with the pregnancy and now dealing with the Slaters, Tommy with his anger and lashing out at Kat. Like, Ricky's been underdeveloped, sure. Will's been underdeveloped, sure. Janet's not really done much either. But just for the most part, a lot of the teenagers are actually kind of they're poised to actually have adult storylines once they actually come of age. Avani as well, Barney, true. Like a lot of these teenagers will hopefully make the jump from being like a teenager on the show to just being a adult and actually having proper adult storylines. But I do genuinely say that this crop of teens is my favorite for a long time.
All right.
Probably my favorite crop of teens since like Lucy, Peter, Lauren, Abby, Jay, Ben, like that kind of group.
All right. I can agree with that. But I will obviously not go for that. I will go for a sack. Just being an idiot and like taking the child away from his family. Like I understand if the family's abusive, but they're not.
I just didn't understand why you thought it was going to work so well.
It's like me when I have a channel idea that clearly doesn't work, but you're just going, yeah, that's what you want to do, yeah, go on then, yeah. That's mostly Ashton every time I talk on our podcast. He's like, oh, gonna bring up the classics. Yep, here we go, there we go. Yep, great. So yeah, that's the awards. Do you want to do the after show?
I don't really have too much going on for the after show. I'm sure we can do something.
All right, you talk there, and I'll.
The after show. Not much going on. Not much progress made on videos. I've been playing a game called Lies of P, which is a small, like, kind of AA little game, which is basically it's a Dark Souls type game. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's a game that's kind of characterized for its difficulty. It's a game that you kind of have to smash your head through the brick wall. But if you actually manage to get into it, you suddenly start to realize it's like this really kind of satisfying, like it's known as a notoriously hard game, but it's a game that you gradually get better as you play through it, and it feels really cathartic to like take on bosses and kind of deal with stuff, and you actually feel like, oh shit, I'm better. I'm way better than I was when I started. So that sense of progression and that catharsis from actually beating all these bosses are like, yeah, I'm the fucking man. I'm a machine. Played through that this last week or two. It's genuinely been a pretty fun game. I have enjoyed it. I'm on the final boss now, but by the time this video comes out, hopefully I will have beat it. But it's been good fun. It's been a fun little week. In terms of other stuff, no real progress on any of the videos. It was mostly just about getting that like top 5 failures of Chris Glenshaw's golden era, because I think it was a cool topic, and I think it pieced together quite well. I suppose I'll talk about this. Part of me does want to start doing a couple more top 5s, because it's still in the same format, because I'm not going to edit heavily, because, you know, it's mostly just a kind of thought exercise. But I'll probably do some more like top 5s of like kind of off the cuff, interesting. Like maybe I will do like a top 5 like worst families in EastEnders. Maybe that's a fun little idea. Where it's a bit of research and a bit of like history needed, but it's a cool way to kind of contextualize it while still keeping it like accessible to very lazy fuck editing me. But, you know, if people like the idea of the top 5s, I'm sure I'll do more of them. I think I've done 2 so far. I did one about how to save Coronation Street. I'll probably do one about how to save Hollyoaks at some point, but I think it's opened a nice little cool avenue for potential future content, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Pig, he could get in on the top 5, but he refused, so.
Yeah.
I gave him a ticket. He was allowed on the bus.
I showed
Just
up.
didn't join.
Yeah, I showed up, and they're like, "Oh, this says no piggies allowed on the bus," and I just went, "Oh, fair enough." Why is he there? Oh, I said no piggy.
I'm pretty sure that's the 3rd podcast in a row you made that joke, but fair enough.
Just love. I don't know why I love that joke so much.
It's a good one. It's a good bit.
it doesn't have all the fans, that bit doesn't, but it has some fans. And that's
Exactly.
And I just want to say I got my t-shirts from America. See, I'm wearing a Winnie the Pooh, like Hawaiian shirt, and I love it. There's Winnie, and then there's Tigger. Look at that. Yeah, I love it. It was like, I think it got it for 20 quid, even though it was originally 50, and it's like it's big on me as well, because I forget that like Americans have different sizes compared to us. So a
Yeah.
4XL in America is a 3XL in England/Ireland. So like a 2XL would be a 1XL, etc., etc. I don't know how a small works, so I don't know where that would just go to an extra small. But and plus I've never fitted into a small. Let's be honest. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I got a Daredevil hoodie, which I'll probably bust out in the podcast later in the year. I got a Spider-Man shirt, which my dad absolutely hates. Not because of anything on it. It's just because it's a cream color, and it's like, you're a messy eater. I'm not going to be able to wash this shirt. That shirt's just going to be destroyed from day one. I'm like, yeah, yep. I'm a messy eater. Yeah, thank you, Dad. And I just pretty much enjoyed it. I got like the t-shirts and everything. So yeah, I bought him some birthday presents as well. That was good. I'm trying to. I've bought some Marvel Legends figures as well. So like the Hasbro
The way
Marvel.
you made it sound that I didn't call you on it. The way you made it sound is you made it sound like you made him sound like you had ideas for Christmas presents, but you went, "Yo, can I get money though?"
I did.
Fucking fuck's sake!
I'm like,
Hey, I've got these gifts. Give me all the money. You're paying for your gifts.
Classic Piggy.
Classic Piggy. I'm gonna do something, but I don't have the money to do it. I'm just gonna ask someone else to pay for it. Let's go.
He got 2 of them yesterday. The others should be arriving soon. But I've just also been like buying Marvel Legends figures, like the Marvel Hero figures. Bought Wolverine. I bought Domino from Deadpool 2, or the Lucky Girl from Deadpool 2, the one who always survives because she's lucky.
Yeah.
And what was the third one I bought? Oh yeah, Felicia Hardy, like Black Cat from Spider-Man 2. And I'm waiting to get the Venom from Spider-Man 2 because because you know, like when they make Venom, they usually kind of make him short. But like he's not, like they make it the same height as Peter Parker, which in reality, Venom's fucking huge. Like he's massive. And they actually made him like taller and wider than most of the Marvel characters. I'm like, that's how you do it. That's why I want that Venom. He's like massive. And plus I think you need to have a Venom if you have a Spider-Man collection, because he is kind of necessary. But yeah, that's just it. That's what I've been doing. I've also
I'm just still mentally stuck on the hey Dad, I'm gonna buy you I'm gonna buy you presents. You're paying for it though. It's like, what? The gifts are me. Why am I paying for my fucking gifts? I'd be fuming. Like, no, fuck off. Pay it yourself, cheeky fucker.
But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I did message. I found a comic book store in not in my area, but in the country, called Big Bang Comics. Because I'm looking, because Smith's stock on Hasbro Marvel Legends is not that great. So I've been looking around for comic book shops to see where I could buy them. And I came across Big Bang Comics. And it was like, if you have any inquiries about figures you want, message me. So I hit him up a message and I was like, yo, can I get the Jesus Crucifixion set imported if you don't mind? I know I won't sell well, but I do want it if you don't mind. And he basically responded to me,
Fuck off.
what did he respond? Where the fuck did he respond to me? He basically said we can't import it. And I went, alright. That was basically it. I'm trying to think of it. Where did I say?
I thought you were trying to add some stakes to the story, and then it's like the fucking. So I went to the dentist the other day, and they said everything was fine. So what? What the fuck?
Did I message you on the right account? That's what I have to figure out. I have so many emails that I don't know which one I messaged them on. Oh, there we go. He responded, "Hey there, the line is not available for our suppliers, I'm afraid. Regards, Killian or Karen." And alright, fair enough. And I just, because I'm trying to so bad to get the fucking Jesus crucifixion set, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I want to animate with Jesus. I want to make him like a wrestler, where he's just like the best wrestler possible. But yeah, and I've seen someone do a review of it, and all the comments were like, "Oh, that's lovely," and then there's one guy going, "You're going to hell for this. This is blasphemy," and I'm like, "It's just posing a Jesus figure. Calm down." But yeah, that's basically it. That's basically what I've been doing. Nothing much, nothing else.
The Wild Adventures of Piggy.
Yeah, just
Gets
collecting.
his dad to buy his own presents, and spends all his money on figures, and doesn't spend that money on his dad.
Yeah. I guess this is where we end the podcast. I guess. Anything else?
Other vaguely interesting things. I've signed up to be part of a tournament. Part of the Simpsons Hit and Run yearly tournament. And it starts in a couple of days. Starts Wednesday, like what, 3rd, something like that. 2nd, one of those. Wednesday 4th. So yeah, anybody who wants to see me race and lose, I'll be streaming on Twitch as per normal. So
And I'll be requesting
stuff.
I'll be requesting we bring the boom. So yeah.
Banned.
It's not banned. I'll request it on my mod.
But yeah, it's just fun stuff. I'm kind of like vaguely paying attention to the tournament because it's the first one I've done in years. So yeah, it should be fun. Very much else though. I do want to be getting back. I do want to actually start fucking. I'm gonna force myself to actually start working on the video again because I've been quite lazy with that. But yeah,
at least you have a mustache.
We'll see.
At least you have a mustache because of the video.
Yep. Said I wasn't gonna shave or cut my hair till I finished the video, and I've not worked on it since I made that promise. So it's going strong. It's going absolutely strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much else though. It's been a good week. Been a good week for EastEnders. I am excited to see what Ben Wadey has in store. I'm looking forward to next week's episodes to see, because obviously it's gonna be a big, like, obviously you're gonna have to do the payoff, but you're also gonna have to, like, boom, this is the new era. This is different from the previous one. Like, here is what I actually want to do. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting time, honestly. I'm looking forward to it. And obviously, there's going to be a shit ton of news coming out, so.
We've content for the next few months. Let's go.
Let's go.
And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.